found yourself saying things like, I'd be happier if I had more money, or if I had a better car, a better job, or even a better house? We tend to long for something else, hoping that it will give us much joy than what we do have. Now, in reality, this is the grass is greener syndrome, where we keep longing for something and we are not being mindful of what is currently happening. Let's get into the video. Welcome back. Hi, my name is Eglah and this is a safe space for positivity and growth, and I cannot wait to do this video with you because we are going to be learning and unlearning in this topic of happiness. Why is it that we keep longing for something to happen, for us to acknowledge happiness? Why aren't we looking at what we currently have? Why are we not seeking that happiness right now in the moment? So I hope that this is going to be beneficial for you as much as it's going to be entertaining. Now, let me just start the video. I will let you in on a little secret, and that is that happiness is not a destination. It's a journey. And that's where we get it all wrong when we say things like, if I had this, if this was not what was happening, then I would be happy. Because we keep seeing this happiness as some mountain we need to climb in order to get to this other realm of happiness. But that's not how you should look at it. It's a journey, meaning that you can be happy now, you can be happy tomorrow. You just don't have to say that you're longing for something to happen, because when that happens, you are actually pausing your happiness. Yes, exactly. When you say that you wish you had more money and that's when you'd be happy, how about the money that you're making now? How can you multiply it? How can you be happy with what you have now and be able to scheme something in order to get more money in the present? And by that, you are not going to be experiencing mindfulness. And we did talk about this in the video where I made about living on autopilot, where we tend to forget everything that's happening because we are not being mindful of our surroundings or our lives. And that's what's going to happen. You are not going to be mindful, you're not going to appreciate things that are happening now, but you're going to keep anticipating. And you're going to be losing so much time because you cannot rush. Enjoy what you're doing right now, because this is your current, and that which you do hope to get in the end, you will get it. And that which you wish to get in the end, that has its own time. How about now, and how about the present? Happiness is something that we can cultivate in the present. We can do it now. I want you to think of things that bring you joy in the present, because we do have goals, we do have aspirations. Of course, you having goals is normal. You having goals, you having dreams, that is valid. But how about cultivating and tapping into your happiness in the present? Now, let's do some exercise on gratitude. This is a point that I love. You being grateful for what you have is now the beginning of you getting that happiness that you so wish to have. Because even if you do get that job that you want, even if you do get that money that you've been anticipating for the car, if you are not grateful about that, you are also not going to be happy. Yes, you are going to get those things, but if you do not learn to appreciate right now, it's going to be sort of hard for you to keep track of the happiness that you're wanting. There's a point that I said in one of my videos, and that was habit. We humans just tend to adopt to some habits that we have. And there's some habits that are hard to change the more we get to it. The more we keep doing things out of habit, we just implant it into our minds and we keep doing these things the same way because we are so used to it. And so by you cultivating gratitude, you are going to push this in the long run. Even when you get those things that you so want, those things that you know you deserve, you are going to be happy about them and you're going to keep appreciating. So keep reminding that it's not a destination, it's a journey. And even if you get those things that you want in the end, you still need to be able to be grateful for them, even during this whole process before you get them. Now, on mindfulness, I talked about this, where you're living in the moment. You're not really rushing into what is to happen because it's going to come. Exactly. So by you cultivating this sense of you living in the moment, by you accepting what is happening and turning them to experiences rather than just putting them in the corner and being like, this is going to be so over with. I want you to think of times where you prayed for something or you have been hoping for something in your life. It could be 5 years ago, it could be more. I want you to think of how it felt to be in that moment. You wished for something to happen. And now when you look at it, if you did live through that moment, you can feel what it felt. you can actually internalize it now and feel like, okay, I do remember how those times were. I was so sad. This was what was happening. I was working hard to get what I wanted, and I finally got it. And when you're told to speak about it, you feel like you're living it. You feel like that word isn't just a word, it's actually your life. It's what happened. And that's because you chose to experience it. You didn't just numb your emotions because you were tired of it. You were able to experience that moment, and it led to these experiences that you have at the moment. And that's something that you should be able to cultivate even now. What you're experiencing now, make it into a wholesome experience. Let it be an experience so that it's easier for you to live in this moment and not just rush through stuff and hope for other times, because every timing is okay and you need to be able to live through each of them. Cultivate self-acceptance. You need to be able to accept who you are and what you're doing. And by this, again, the whole topic on validation and comparison does come into play here, because you are accepting the kind of journey that you have now. You are accepting the experiences that have already happened, because you cannot change the past. There are things you cannot change. You need to be able to understand that. And so by you accepting yourself, you get to understand that you're unique. You have so much power. That's just you. How you live your life can be very different to someone else's, and again, journeys are different. So I will say this point that I talked about in that video of comparison. You might probably start your own thing and feel like your timing is longer than someone else's, and that will only happen when you compare it to someone else's journey. If I decide to do whatever I am doing and let my journey take the course that it's supposed to, I will not feel very defeated as compared to, when I start comparing it with someone else's, because I am going to be keeping tabs. I'm going to be like, why isn't mine working like that? And by that, I am going to get into a space where I'm going to say, I will be happier if my journey escalates and I get to where I want to be faster than this, like this other person. But if I just look at my own journey and appreciate it, I will be able to look at the milestones that I have achieved. There are some things we tend to overlook. Yes, you're saying that you wish you had more money and a better job, but I want you to think of how it felt when you got that job or when you got that kind of money that you have. You were probably happy because this was another milestone. You're able to achieve something else. Now, why can't you appreciate that and now think of another goal that you're going to get in the end? And by that, you are going to live happily and not just train yourself hoping for this particular moment for you to be happy, because it's going to be so tough. What if you are going to achieve that in probably 2 years? Does that mean you're going to feel miserable? Does that mean you're going to accept this miserable aura around you because you just want this exact moment to happen? And so live through that journey that you have, experience everything that's happening, and accept the kind of journey that you're in. Okay, and now, because I don't want to end this video prematurely, I am going to be reading for you some quotations on happiness, and we can just talk about them as we go. So, okay, I will link where I'm reading this from in case you want to read this article, which talks about some of the myths when it comes to happiness. I have seen some. I think I can just read them through and then you can just check the article, but we are going to be reading quotations on happiness and see if we do agree with them. So as I start, some of the myths that are being said here are: happiness is the goal of life. It's not a destination, it's a journey, just like I told you. So it's not that end goal. That's not something that should be pushing you every single time and you're like, I need to be able to achieve this goal for me to be happy. It's a process, it's a journey. You can be happy even as you continue to search for that which you want. And then we must pursue happiness. Okay, I'm not going to go into detail because you can read it, and I'm not going to talk much about it because I've not written it. And then happiness comes from changing our circumstances, and this mentions a new job, a promotion, a raise, more money, a better body, fame. And when we do this, we kind of put ourselves in a box and we're like, if I get this particular thing, then I'm going to be happy. And once it happens, you are going to change the view of it. We have, when I'm successful, I will be happy. So it says that our happiness depends on what others think of us. If someone else thinks that I am successful, if someone else thinks that my life is better than theirs, then that will make me happy. That's what it's depicting, and that is a myth. It is not true. Okay, We also have, you either have happiness or you don't. You know, sometimes we seek this, I would call dopamine effect. Like we want something that will intrigue us so that we can accept this happiness and accept that we are happy. And when we are not that happy and elated, we tend to think that that means that we are not happy. It means that we are sad. It means that there's something wrong with our lives. And so, I don't know, this is so nice. I like this point. It talks about there are so many contributors to our happiness, and you cannot just say that you have happiness and then if you don't have it, that's it. So again, we have having things will make us happy. I think this is more or less something we've talked about. Money will bring us happiness, and then we have happiness is a destination. We've talked about this. Happiness is a pleasure. Okay. And then we have happiness is mostly about what we feel. That point is nice. It's not mostly about our feelings. Okay, I am not so conversant with that. And then we have, we always revert to our happiness set point, and then we cannot be happy when we are facing negative events. Ooh, okay. So it talks about how we can be having some pain or we can be having some struggles in our lives, and if you accept to just handle it and try to work your way out of it, you can be happy. So it doesn't mean that you cannot be happy even when you're experiencing some negative events. And then another myth is that happiness is a solo endeavor, and also happiness declines with age. The best years of our lives are over. That is true. Happiness does not decline with our age. Even when you get older, even if you're younger than some people, you still can be happy. And then what else do we have? I think that is the end of those myths, and now we can talk about quotations on happiness. So one of them says that success is not the key to happiness. Happiness is the key to success. They turned it around, and I love that because sometimes we think that if we achieve success, if we amass so much wealth, then we will be happy. But how about your happiness will get you that wealth, that success that you want? That is really nice. Another one is that success cannot be traveled to, cannot be owned, cannot be earned or won or consumed. Happiness is the spiritual experience of living every minute with love, grace, and gratitude. And then happiness does not depend on outward things, but the way we see them. So it's not on outright pleasures, it's not on outright stuff or things. And then this final one that I feel is really good. There are times when you are going to do well, and there are times you are going to fail. But neither the doing well nor the failure is the measure of success. The measure of success is what you think you have done. Let me put that another way. The way to be happy is like yourself, and the way to like yourself is to do only things that make you proud. And I love that. It was said by someone called Mark Lewis, who is a professor of clinical psychology. These are some postscripts on quotation on happiness. I hope you enjoyed this. I'm going to link it in the description in case you'd like to read this article. And yes, now we are coming to the end of this video. In case you enjoyed this video, kindly like, share, and subscribe to my channel so that you can be notified of other videos like this, and also some that I have made. And I do hope you have a lovely day. Bye.